welcome. Good afternoon. Today on MoaTreks Live, we're talking to Kathy, who's joining us from Western Australia. Kia ora, Kathy.
Kia ora, Andrew. How are you?
I'm very well. Nice to talk to you again.
Thank you, and you.
Yeah. Now, Kathy, you live in Western Australia.
Yes.
But we can guess from that maybe you weren't born in Western Australia. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
where you come from? And that'd be great to hear.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with this accent, of course, I come from England. But next year it will be 50 years since I've lived in Perth, WA.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever did was moving to Australia. It's a fabulous country, you know. And I've had a great life. You know, really good career. I'm retired now. I love to travel. I do it a lot. Have great friends, family. So life's good.
Well, that's great to hear. And
Yeah.
I have heard that you have done lots of traveling all around the world, and you've recently just got back from a trip too, haven't you?
I did a couple of weeks ago. I just got back from Portugal and Spain last year. And of course, in February, I did New Zealand. And then the end of last year, I did Central Europe. And the year before that, I did Morocco and lots of trips in between. So I do travel a fair bit.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I'm jealous. And now, so you came out to New Zealand earlier in the year, right in the middle of or in the middle of our summer, February, March, wasn't it?
Yes.
Now, was that your first trip to New Zealand?
No, I had been before. I have quite a few New Zealand friends, and one of my friends was 65, and her and her husband and lots of us from Australia went over there to the South Island and spent a couple of weeks traveling around doing the Otago Bike Trail.
Yes, Central Otago Rail Trail.
Yeah, that's it. And had a really great time, but I'd always wanted to see more of New Zealand because everyone raves about it. And of course, we're just across the water, you know, in Australia. So when I saw it come up, I went, oh, okay, I'm definitely going to look into that. And I'm so happy that I did.
And so what was it about this year coming to New Zealand for you, and what was it that drew you across the Tasman and the desert from
it
Western
certainly
Australia?
did. Well, as I said, just my expectations were pretty high, and New Zealand met all of those and more. It was just the most fantastic trip. It's my favourite trip I've ever been on.
Wow.
I loved it because I'm a scenic person. I prefer scenery to cities, really. And I actually saw it on Facebook. It came up. I was just looking through Facebook one day and I went, oh, okay, who's this? Who's MoaTreks? And always look at reviews. I'm a big review person when I'm trying to find something out, and you had such fantastic reviews. And I loved the fact there was, I think, 3 different holidays, but I wanted to do the 21-day Kakapo because I thought that would give me the greatest experience, which it did. So that's how I came to book a trip to New Zealand.
And when you were looking for your trip, how did you research your trip? I mean, you mentioned online and with Facebook reviews. What kind of things were important to you? And did you think about traveling around? So you joined one of our tours, but did you think about traveling any other ways? What kind of trip were you looking for?
I wasn't really, when I first saw it, didn't have expectations, but I read all the places you went to on that trip, on that 3-week trip, the North Island, the South Island, and it just covered such a massive part of the whole country that I thought, wow, I think this is going to be the trip for me. I like to be busy. I'm not a massive cruise person. I love cruising, but I prefer tours where I'm walking and doing stuff. And so that's how I picked it. And as I say, I read the reviews, which were fantastic. It just seemed to be value for money, what you offered. And I like the smaller tours, to be honest, rather than the big tours, which I've done.
Yeah. Yes. And you traveled on quite a few different tours around the world, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Mm,
Yeah, and I've done two small ones, yours being one of them, um, which I prefer because I think it's much easier to travel around when you've got a small bus coach. And of course, it was, I think, a near new bus from what I can remember. I think it was only
mm,
about 12 months old. So it had everything that you could wish for. And it was so comfortable and it was really nice. It's just easier to move. It's easier to deal with people, I think, when you've got a smaller group of people. So it's my
Yes,
preference.
it certainly is. And just one final question about when you were booking or researching, was there one thing that really jumped out to you about MoaTrek that helped you make your decision? Was there anything you remember or reading or seeing?
Well, just really what I've already mentioned to you that some of the other tours don't do as much. They don't see as much. Whereas you covered in that 3 weeks, really just about the whole of New Zealand.
Hmm.
And um, and the fact that it was a small group, the fact that everyone raved about it and said how good it was, that was enough for me to
Yeah.
then book it. I didn't really look at other options after I looked at a couple of what others did, and I went, no, I think you did the best tour.
Mm.
So I was going to stick with that, and I'm just glad I did because it was
Oh.
fantastic.
Oh, we're glad you did too. Thank you for coming. Um, and how would you describe, so you've traveled on a small group tour and you've also traveled on some larger tours. To someone that, say, had never been on a tour at all before, how would you describe the difference between a smaller group and a larger group? What do you think's kind of you get out of traveling in the smaller groups?
Well, smaller groups are much more personal, and you tend to bond with the other people on the tour better and quicker because there's less of you. And so when you're on a big tour, you don't really get to know too many people, which is
Mm.
fine. But I just think it's a more intimate experience and probably touches your heart a bit better when you've got a smaller group of people, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the one I've just done was a big tour and it was really nice, but I didn't get to know, of course, an awful lot of people, which was fine. Um, but also the blessing on your tour when I went in February, I was the only Aussie, which surprised me. They
Yeah.
were all Canadians and Americans, and they were the best bunch of people I think I've ever toured with. Such a lovely bunch of people, and everyone got on really well.
Yes.
So that just added to the enjoyment of the whole thing.
Did you get to teach them how to speak English properly?
Tried. I tried, especially when we talked about thongs in Australia, and of course, thongs over there is, ladies' lovely underwear. And of course, in Australia, they're flip flops, or what do you call them in New Zealand?
Jandals. Jandals.
Jandals. So everyone's got a different name for them. So it was quite funny
Mm.
that we had a few laughs over, yeah.
Mm.
And like when Australians and I think New Zealanders also say, yeah, nah. Did you like so and so? Yeah, nah. And they go,
Yes.
yeah, now what does that mean? So it was just fun.
Yeah. No, and it's a lot of fun when you have those groups and everyone has a
Exactly.
good laugh about the English language. And so you mentioned the people that you traveled on. So you arrived into New Zealand, you arrived in Auckland,
Auckland, yeah.
and you met up with your guide Chris and your tours. What were your impressions early on of the group, the other people that you met on the trip?
And when you first meet someone, like the first night when everyone meets together, and then Chris, of course, as the tour guide, was telling us lots what was going to happen on the trip. And so you sort of, watch people and just don't really form any opinions. You just think, oh, well, this is going to start tomorrow. And really from day one, it was great. Just everyone got on. You soon get to know each other.
Mm.
And then people are always there to support you if you want it, or help you out, or you help them out. And it's just really nice.
Do you have any, I mean, it always is the friendships that you make, that's always one of the best things about traveling in a group like that. Do you have any, and one thing I would always remember from the tours was you have a lot of laughs, don't you? Is there anything that you remember from the trip, kind of with the people, that you still smile about now?
Oh my gosh. Lots of things really, just colloquialism, you know,
Mm,
the Americans say and the Canadians say and the we say and the New Zealanders say. And then of course, you know, Chris and I, him being, you know, a Māori and me being an Aussie, and we're talking about who made the pavlova. Don't even know
mm.
if Canadians and Americans know what pavlova is, but the meringue dessert, and Aussies always claim to make it,
Yes.
and the New Zealanders say, no, we made it. And so you do comparisons of things that you say, and we laugh. We all laughed at what other countries say, and, you know, um, it was just fun. I haven't really got one particular thing. It just seemed to be every day there was something that you laughed about or smiled about.
Yes, yeah. And then, and Chris, your guide. Tell us about your
Oh,
guide, Chris.
Chris.
I know you had some good laughs with Chris.
He's a
You liked his
legend.
shirts?
Yeah, Chris Tidings, he's a funny man, but so good. Oh my God, so good. He was just really professional, really friendly, really helpful, but he had us all where he wanted us. You know, we had to be on the ball because, of course, when
Mm,
you're leaving, you've got to leave on time.
mm,
And then quite often, if we were going somewhere really popular, you know, like your Milford Sound and all those type of places where there's thousands of tourists go, he'd often say, right, we're going to get up and we're going to leave a bit earlier than the big coaches because we can
mm.
get there sooner and before all the crowds come. And that happened so many times. It was so good. And then often we were leaving somewhere not as big as Milford Sound, but a smaller place before the crowds were going
Yes,
and getting there. So that was a big advantage.
yes,
Um, and he was just great. He was so knowledgeable. He's so proud of his heritage, you know, his Maori heritage, and told us all about it. And um, it was fabulous. It was just a joy to be around,
mm,
really.
mm. Was there a moment when you thought, wow, it's really good having a guide on hand? Was there a moment then that you really kind
Oh,
of saw the value of having a guide with you on the trip?
just knowing where to go, what time to get there,
Mm,
how to get there, and then what to do when we got there. You know, I suggest you go and do this first and
yeah,
then go and do that. And that was such great advice because we just ran so smoothly the whole way
yes.
along. Really, it was every day. There was something that he said or he did that just made it fantastic.
Yes,
But there
a bit
wasn't
of
just one thing, it was a
yeah,
continuous.
a bit of local knowledge,
Oh,
and
local
obviously
knowledge, what
some
can you do
care and
without it?
delivery.
You know, I've said to
Yes.
my friends since I came home, because a lot of people, especially a lot of Aussies, do go to New Zealand by
Mm,
themselves. They hire a car or they hire a camper van or something. But the great thing about doing a tour, you really do go to the best places and you get
mm,
driven there and you go along the best routes to get there. So you're not spending a lot of your time, how do I get there? Where am I going to stay when I get there? What will we see when we get there? Because everything's planned to the very best, you know, that
mm.
New Zealand had to offer. We saw it all.
Yes, yeah. Is there a place which surprised you in New Zealand and you thought, "Whoa, we might not have seen this one if we had been driving ourselves"?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question, Andrew. Well, one of the very special places, I've got to have a look to see how you pronounce it. The Tāne Mahuta walk.
Yes, perfect. Tāne Mahuta.
Oh my God, to see that 2,500-year-old tree
Yes.
in the forest, the fifth largest tree in the world. I mean, that blew me away completely.
Yes.
And then we had the 3 Māori guys singing on the
Yeah.
walk up
Mm.
to the, and I think it was Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, if I remember rightly. It was the most breathtaking moment. That was an amazing sight for me.
Yes.
And, you know, Abel Tasman, I loved. Franz Josef going up in the helicopter at the top of the glacier, like you're on top of the world, and the
Yes.
sun was shining beautifully. There wasn't a breath of wind.
Yes.
Divine. You know, there was so many things, so many
Mm.
places. And of course, you know, Milford Sound. And then the most beautiful waterfalls that you saw everywhere. They were, and the glacial waters that looked like milk. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on because it was, the whole thing was stunning.
Yes. And so yeah, for people that don't know, Tāne Mahuta is an ancient kauri tree in Northland,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful place in a beautiful forest, but it's a very spiritual place.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
we go there with local Māori guides, and yeah, they introduce it to us in a way that's very special. And
Mm,
then to contrast that with the Southern Alps down and you got up on the glacier in Franz Josef. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. And you know, Mount Cook, the national park, that it's just jaw-dropping, really. You
Mm,
know, the
mm,
most beautiful photos that you can take.
yes,
And the weather was superb, so of course that helped.
yes, yeah. And you're a keen walker, and you mentioned
Mm,
Abel Tasman, and I'm sure you got out and walked a bit in Mount
yeah.
Cook. What were some of the other walks that you did?
Oh my
And
gosh, now
how did
you've
you
put me on
enjoy
the
those?
spot. Was it Robertson Island,
Yes.
when we were on the boat to Robertson Island, and it was just a small walk, like up the hill to the
Mm,
top, and the views were sensational. And gosh, walks. There were so many walks. I can't even remember them all. I think every day there was a beautiful walk. Another walk I loved was Punakaiki.
yes, perfect. Yes,
And
Punakaiki on the west coast, right towards the end of the
yes,
trip.
that was beautiful, where you had all the massive big
Oh, yes,
rocks in the ocean, and you had the blowholes, and you had
yes,
walks past the most magnificent scenery. I loved that too. Really, every corner you turned in New Zealand, there was something else to see that you just went, oh, photo stop, photo
yes.
opportunity.
And it's so different. The around Punakaiki, there's a lot of limestone, so it's like big towering
Oh,
cliffs.
I love
But just
that.
2 hours down the road, you come from is the glaciers, where it's
Yes.
forest and the glaciers and the mountains, and that's all
And
just one day after another.
stunning, absolutely stunning. And it was just so lovely because even though there was tourists,
Mm,
um, not all the places were really busy, which was
yeah.
really great. And a lot of that, as I say, was thanks to Chris by making sure we got there
Yes.
when, you know, we got the best advantage of seeing what was around.
Yes. Yeah. So now you mentioned the walking, and you mentioned the memories at Tāne Mahuta. You also mentioned with the Maori culture and the kind of heritage, the cultural side that Chris introduced you to. Do you have any other memories of Maori culture, or
Oh,
what did you
yeah.
learn, or what kind of took you, what
That
impressed you about
beautiful, was
that?
it Rotorua, that beautiful Māori
Yes.
cultural event where they had
Ah,
the
yes, yes, in
the
Rotorua.
hāngī, and they do
Mm.
the haka, which I love. I love that.
Yep.
The only thing I like about the rugby is the haka. Um, that was absolutely amazing. That was amazing. And I think the chief of the tribe was there the night that we were there. So the show
Mm.
was really spectacular. That is definitely worth doing. And they come round, is it a river? They come round on their big long boats, and all the singing, and
Yes.
that was fantastic. And Rotorua, I loved because you had the hot springs. We got the boats to the hot springs. That was stunning.
Yeah.
And you just get in this beautiful water that's just really hot and really good for your skin. And of course, the zip lining, because I love doing things like that. I loved the zip lining. Or
Yes.
the tree canopy. That was fabulous.
Yeah, you really got out there, didn't you? You were on the helicopter, on a zip
Oh,
line
yeah,
tour,
yeah. I did
hiking.
everything because I wanted to, and I
Yes,
didn't want to miss out.
yes.
And I was going to do another parachute jump when I got to Queenstown, but it was the
Yeah.
only day the weather was bad.
Oh,
So I couldn't do it, but that's okay. I've done it before. I would have just liked to have done it there.
yeah. And that's one of the things about the tours. There's a lot of things which are included, but we also have the optional
Yeah,
activities, we call them, and like the
absolutely.
glacier hiking and the canopy tour.
And they
You're
were
right there,
great.
and if you want to do it. Now I remember when we spoke earlier that you mentioned something from Wellington when you visited Wellington. That was
Oh,
a real
I
memory for you.
loved
Could
the
you tell us about
museum.
that?
Oh, I know, because that was one of my absolute favorite moments of the trip.
Mm,
Because the Aussies and the New Zealanders, of course, we fought in the First World War at Gallipoli.
mm,
So you had the Anzac Cove terrible thing that happened, that we fought against the Turks. And Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings,
mm.
has got this exhibit at this museum of these enormous, I mean, they just about hit the ceiling, these
Mm,
figures of the soldiers and the nurses and everything to do with that war in Gallipoli.
yes.
And I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the skin on the people, you could see the hairs on the arms and you could see the perspiration on their skin. It was so lifelike. It was so real. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. That was breathtaking. It was just amazing. And then it showed where this young soldier had been reading his Bible and he'd gotten shot,
Mm,
and the bullet landed in the Bible and it saved his life. Like,
mm.
just so much to see going to that museum. That is an
Yeah,
absolute must when you go to Wellington.
yeah.
And
That's
of
in
course,
Wellington.
beautiful Mount Victoria, I
Yes,
loved,
yes.
which got a 360-degree view over Wellington and all the harbour and all
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. So Te Papa, it's the National Museum, and
Oh,
it's relative. It's been around about, I think, when did that? 25 odd years ago, and
wow.
lots of people visit there now. And that exhibit, it was originally only planned to be a temporary exhibit, but it was so popular that it's
Oh,
still there. Yeah,
magnificent.
yeah.
The best thing I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot, but um, like you got a Madame Tussauds where they do figures.
Mm,
There's no comparison. So
yeah.
you have to go to the Wellington Museum when you go there because it's amazing.
Yes, yes. So you had quite a few wow moments.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything else that's I mean, I feel like you've told us lots of wow moments, but is there anything else that you really think about, that you still think about from your trip?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, of course, one of the main wow moments, which everyone knows, is Milford Sound,
Mm,
because you just got waterfalls everywhere that you look. And when you go under that big waterfall, the boat goes in and you literally get wet.
yes.
Water that's coming down from that waterfall, it's just amazing. Um, wow moments. I think I've mentioned, for me, the main wow moments, and I could go back and do that whole thing again tomorrow. I loved it so much,
Mm.
because I'm sure you probably miss things when you have gone the first time, but I try to sort of do everything. For me, it was just, I don't know, the beautiful scenery, that's my main thing.
Okay.
That's my love. I love trees and beautiful scenery and being by myself, even in the bush. You know, because I'm a solo traveller. I love to travel solo.
Yeah.
And I think as a female, you should never be frightened to go away by yourself, because you can do as much or as little as you want to, really. And there's always people there that are going to be friendly with you and include you in stuff if that's what you would like to do.
Yeah.
And it just means that you can suit yourself. You don't have to suit anyone else when you go away by yourself, which is what I love.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's
And
always, I mean, New Zealand's great because everyone speaks English, but of course I've just been to Spain and Portugal, and more Portuguese speak English, but the Spanish, or they pretend not to speak too much English. But you can always make yourself understood. You know,
yes.
I love ladies that can just bite the bullet and go away, because you shouldn't be scared of doing it, because it's really heartfelt and it's good for you, I think. It's good
Yes.
for the soul.
And that's what's I mean, we have a lot of solo travelers on our
Yes.
tours, and it's a great thing. It's a great way to do it because you are traveling alone. But the minute you join the tour, you have a bunch of people to be with, and friends, and your guide as well. So what would you say to Kathy? What would you say to anyone thinking about traveling to New Zealand, or thinking about traveling on a
my
tour?
God, just do it. Absolutely do it. I mean, I've got nothing except positive things to say about your tour company. It was just amazing.
Well, thank you.
And seriously, guys, go to New Zealand, do yourself a favour, because it is the most gorgeous place on earth. You can't go wrong. You'll come back like me with the most beautiful memories. You know, I've got a girlfriend. I go line dancing 3 times a week, and one of my girlfriends, I was telling her about my trip, because of course I sent lots of photos when I was away, and everyone went, oh my God, that trip looks amazing. So when I got home, this one particular lady wanted me to tell her about it. Now she's booked with you
Oh,
to
wow.
go next February. So she's doing the 3-week Kakapo tour. And I went, oh my
wow.
God, you are going to love it.
Oh, thank
So
you.
she can't wait to go. And I
that's
know she's going to love
fantastic.
it. So, you know, there you go. There's someone I know doing your tour next year.
Well, that's the highest compliment. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Oh.
Is there any tips that you'd give to anybody traveling to New Zealand, or anything that you thought that you would have liked to know before you came, just about, what to bring or getting ready, anything like that?
Look, what to bring really is like any trip. I think, of course, you're going to look at the weather, you know, and places like New Zealand and England, of course, where sometimes you can't rely on the weather. You take a mix of clothing, you know, layers that you can do. Always take, you know, your sunscreen and your hats and your long sleeves to stop you getting sunburnt. And good walking shoes are so important. You've got to have good shoes to walk in. But just, you know, you don't have to dress up. Like a couple of maybe nice outfits for when you go out for dinner. But other than that, be comfortable, and just take your smile and take your friendliness for other people, and you're going to get that back in spades.
Wow. Well, I don't think I could sum it up any better. Take your smile. That's amazing. Look, thank you so much, Kathy. Is there anything that you'd say to, if any of your other travelers, or Chris is watching this, is there anything you'd say to them?
Oh, Chris, miss you, Chris. You and I got on really well when we were on that tour. We had so many laughs together. And I know you would have been such a fabulous tour guide since your tours have started again.
Yeah.
And when are they starting again now for you?
This right now, this month.
Right, this month. Yeah. Which is the perfect time to go.
Springtime here in New Zealand now.
February, it was the most amazing weather. And Chris is just such a fabulous tour guide that you're just going to love it, really. So Kia ora, Chris. I hope you're well and you're happy and you're settled. And this little Aussie to you, a big hello.
We'll pass that on. Thank you
Oh,
so much, Kathy.
lovely to talk to you, Andrew.